increase of cement, chuma zimepanda bei. Kenyans do not have purchasing power to build a house. And that business is very satisfying because you know our role is what? We are the first stroke of paint. When you want to build your house, sindo tunatoa cotton. But it saddens me that Kenyans cannot afford. They are not building and neither are they affording to pay rent. So that is what sets me apart. I know that what we need now is policies and leadership that is responsive to the plight of Kenyans.
Madam Ruth, same question to you. This is a political competition. You're not in the race alone. Yes. What would you use to convince the Kenyan voters to elect you as the next deputy president and not your competitors, Rigathi Gachagua, Martha Karua, and in this case, Justine Wambui? Let's first talk about the other two who are not in this debate.
Yeah, at least for Justina, we have probably a lot in common because we are new, we are fresh. But our competitors, yes, they have experience, but they have let us down. I have voted for the last 2 decades. I have chosen the same leaders. So I don't see what difference they are coming to bring in, because I feel like some of them are sanitizing the leaders who have been there. We want new blood, we want fresh blood, fresh ideas, so that we gear this country to a different direction.
What is this new idea, fresh idea? What does it constitute?
Corruption. Our big agenda is corruption. It has eaten us in big ways and in every way. So corruption is our bangi. So that is what we are after. Then the rest will be able to be balanced out.
Justina, the same question. What about the larger coalition setup? You know, let's say the Azimio setup, the Kenya Kwanza setup. Do you see any challenge there that would inhibit you from becoming the next deputy president, for example?
No, I'm not challenged in any way. Ashori, I told you that Ruth's party realizes it is wrong. It is very wrong that 5.5 million of Kenyans are unemployed. 1.2 million of Kenyans are below the poverty line of 220 shillings per day. So these people have been in government. I dare say that they are to blame for our current situation because they never looked into the future when they were there or the time they have been there. Maybe the future was telling them, legalize marijuana. It's going to set us apart in terms of competitive advantage. They didn't do it. So I'm not scared because every individual Kenyan, it doesn't matter what tribe you are, what creed or educational background, everyone is suffering. Let me tell you this. Ask a woman who has a salon or a man who has a kinyozi. Do you know boys are saying ati beard gun? It's not a maneno a beard gun. There is no money kukwenda kunyolewa. So Kenyans are lacking. Unaona pesa mkononi or the purchasing power iko chini. So I'm not scared because I'm amplifying the voices of Kenyans.
Right.
Bi Ruth, haswa kwa sababu umetaja maadili, umetaja ufisadi. Kwa kuwe unaelewa vipi sura ya 6 ya katiba? Maadili haswa kulingana nawe ni nini kwa dakika 2? Maadili, integrity, kwa maoni yako ni nini haswa? Unaielewa vipi?
Maadili kwangu na kwa Agano Party is the intention to be transparent, is the intention to be trustworthy, an intention to be trustworthy to the Kenyans who have employed you. Kwa hivyo pale mimi naona the integrity has been compromised with the current and the past government and our competitors. Kwa hivyo tunaomba wa Kenya waweze kutupatia nafasi kwa kuwa sisi ndio we are ready to be audited, we are clean. So why not give us the chance? We are not threatened by the other pair of competitors because they have been in it. Kenyans have seen, Kenyans know. This is nothing new to us. Ni kubadilisha tu, tunahitaji kubadilisha. And Agano Party is coming in as the option ya kubadilisha.
Na kwa nini mnaamini kama Agano Party kwamba Agano Party ndio inakuza maadili na sio Roots Party? Mbona mnaona wao ndio wanahujumu maadili?
Maadili hapo ni personal. If I got your question right. Integrity is very personal. For me and the fifth, Maure Wahiga, he's entitled to audit. I'm entitled to audit. Ndiposa tunaweza kusimama mbele ya Wakenya kuambia, they trust us with this job. We have nothing to hide. We have no worry on what we need to do. Pale corruption tumesema lazima tutamalizana nayo. Pesa ile iko nje. I believe this is the only party and the governance that is going to bring Kenya back its money. Ile pesa imefichwa pale nje. The development money that has been kept out, that is over 10 trillion. Inaweza lipa deni ya Wakenya in one single day. Zubeda, one single day.
Justina, let me get your understanding of Chapter 6 of the Constitution on leadership and integrity. 12 years later, what do you think is the challenge in implementing Chapter 6 of the Constitution?
Let me say this. I think the judiciary, and I'm sorry to say this, but they are used to impede the Chapter 6. For example, if I went to IBC and they said my degree is not right, I'll run to court, and then the court will say, fine, can you clear Justina? And then there are other issues, there are other agencies. For example, maybe the university or the Commission of Higher University will say, no, it's out of our mandate, we can't handle Justina. So I feel that Kenyans have this attitude: when you do wrong, you run to court and your money will be used to sanitize you. And that is why, as Roots Party, we are saying that if you're corrupt, if you're not doing the right thing, because integrity is focusing on your conscience, do the right thing irrespective of circumstances. So even those in the judicial system who are rotten, they are going to be subjected to what Roots Party is saying, hanging, because you're the ones who are impeding how Kenyans, the aspirations of Kenyans, when they're looking out for leaders who relate to their challenges. And not just leaders, but leaders who are within the Chapter 6 of the Constitution. Mm-hmm. So integrity is very key. And yeah, we are propelling it. Professor and I have not stolen any money. We've not been in government. We are genuine. And I always tell Kenyans, tupende bure, we don't have anything. Lakini, integrity is key. If we need to go ahead, we have to instill integrity. And let me give this quote because I have time. There's a quote that Mugabe says, how can you tell young people that education is a key, yet you have poor graduates and rich idiots? So the thing is, we have to make sure that the youth, the younger generation, I'm sure right now they're watching because their parents are watching. The younger generation needs to move away from this idea of deals. And our idea, Gashori, means that you shouldn't be my friend to benefit in government. You have your own marijuana. You don't need a deal. You don't need a tender from government because Justina is your friend. Wekele Industrial Hemp yako will pay you according to the market price.
Ruth, you've been in this country in the last 12 years.
Yes.
And you
Since
understand.
I was born.
Yes, and you understand Chapter 6 of the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it, what do you think has been the major impediment in the implementation of the leadership and integrity chapter of the Constitution?
That is lack of will. We have leaders that are not willing to change for this country. So just as much it's going to cost us, just as much I'd wish to tell Kenyans that without very big words, if we don't decide to change the leadership of this country, it will cost us another 5-10 decades. So integrity is paramount to us as a Agano Party. We are the clean. We are the only option for Kenyan citizen. Tafadhali mtupatie kura. Tutakuja kuleta mabadiliko.
Give us practical examples of how you will deal with corruption and implementation of Chapter 6 of the Constitution, because there's the saying, yes, and there's the doing.
Agano Party has a covenant with Kenyans to abide to the constitutional law. And we say, if you do not follow the law will follow you. For us, nobody is above the law. If you have been in corruption, you will face the law. We are not hanging anybody.
Na umenielekeza mahala ambapo nilitaka kuelekeza wewe binafsi. Unadhani tutaweza kukabili ufisadi kwa kuwanyonga wale ambao ni watuhumiwa wa ufisadi?
Agano Party governance yetu si ya kunyonga, lakini tunaweza, we are able to deal with it in an amicable way following the law. I don't think even kunyonga is in the Constitution. So that means the one wana breach kuvuta bangi na the next wana breach kunyonga watu.
Bi Justine, mmesema kwamba mtasitisha katiba mtakapoingia mamlakani. Hasa mtakuwa mkitumia vigezo gani kuhalalisha hukumu ya kuwanyonga wale watuhumiwa ufisadi, namna ambavyo unasema kwamba mtawanyonga?
Na tutasema tutasitisha katiba as a whole. Tutasitisha parts. We will suspend parts of the Constitution that are not working. Chapter 6 is not working. Hiyo tutasitisha. Because we need to instill fear in public assets of the public. Let me tell you this. In China, if you're corrupt, you're shot. In UK, if you're corrupt, you're taken to court or you're jailed. In Japan, if you're corrupt, you're so scared, you commit suicide. So why is it that Kenyans are jittery about, we are crying every day, yeah, corruption accounts for this loss of money, but when it comes to executions, Kenyans are jittery. We are going to suspend chapter 6. Go back to the Kenyans and tell them, what do you think about this hanging thing? And let me tell you, they are all very happy. They are saying that corruption is accounting to deaths. Look at the badly done roads like Ngong Road. Ngong Road is badly done, a local contractor. And we are assuming that the money was used as kickbacks and then they had to save some little money, so they didn't give qualities. So when that person dies or someone is in an accident and they die, it's not an issue. When medicine is stolen or medical money is stolen and people die because there is no medicine, it's not an issue. Let me tell you, Kenyans, it's about time we be stand on corruption. Our idea is instilling fear in the minds of Kenyans that public mali ya umma ipewe heshima.
Na hukumu ya kunyonga iliharamishwa mapema miaka ya 80. Haswa ni nini, ni kigezo gani ambacho mtatumia kuona kwamba sasa inaweza kufanyika? Kwa sababu ni kitu ambacho kimeharamishwa nchini Kenya. Ni kwamba mnaona kuna mapengo, kuna nafasi katika katiba ambayo mtarudisha hukumu hiyo, au haswa utekelezaji utafanyika vipi?
Unajua hii katiba, Zubeida, ilikuwa copy and paste. Watu walikimbia huko wanaona ati wazungu wanafanya aje. Na wazungu ama wa China ndio wanakuanga na hizo UN conventions ati human rights issues. Kama kwao they are shooting, where are they curtailing us? And that is why I'm saying Kenya haipewi heshima. We need to be firm on this because sisi ndio tunajua shida zetu. Hakuna mtu wa UN ama nani who are feeling our pain. Sisi wenyewe ndio tunalala njaa, sisi wenyewe ndio tunateseka, hatuna kazi. So we are going to look at it as Kenyans. In fact, katiba kama ingekuwa inafanywa public participation, ingekuwa ingetranslatiwa in all tribes. Mtu asiseme ati because nani amesoma niko sawa. No.
Ruth, the last time in this country somebody was hanged, a convict was hanged, was in July 1987. 35 years later, would you agree, would you support the hanging of convicts, and particularly those who have been found culpable of corruption?
Francis, I'll go back to the law. We have a covenant with the Kenyans. We have a covenant with the law. The law clearly stipulates we are not allowed to hang. So what business do we have hanging convicts? There is a law that enforces corruption, the people who have committed corruption. So for us, ni kumaanisha wakivuta bangi on the 10th, one, that is breach of law. Sijui kama hanging is part of it, because it is breach of law. They have broken the constitution. So I don't think I would agree that we need to suspend part of the law. We just need to probably sit with experts if we need to revise. But I don't think we need to hang people's life. People deserve to live and be corrected.
Ruth, there are very many injustices. Let me give, for example, Anglo-Gleasing Golden Bag.
Yes.
Money was stolen in this country. So in your opinion, the Agano way, how would you do it if it's not hanging?
It is law. They follow law. Which is si tunafunga.
Wamefungwa. Watu Anglo-Gleasing.
Sijaingizwa kwa ofisi. Tuingizeni Agano kwa ofisi muone. We will deal.
That is the question.
We will deal, but you know, if we are saying, why would we want to hang people? You have a sister, you have a brother who probably just needs to be corrected. So why hang?
Na wenye wanakufa because of road accidents, lack of medicine, au si wa Kenya, wenye watu wameiba, wanakufa.
That is unplanned.
Life
is unplanned.
Life is life, Ruth. Life is life.
No, the Anglo-Leasing, all this is planned. Mtu akigongwa na gari, that is very unfortunate. And God forbid. Those unfortunate instances, we cannot debate on
because
that.
Of road design.
But we are discussing about surely
road design.
We can't.
Okay.
Kwa hivyo Bi Justina,
yes.
Kama Roots Party, kwa kuwanyonga mtarejesha vipi mali ambayo wameiba? Mtatoa vipi mali ambayo imetumika vibaya, imeibwa, pesa ambazo mnasema zimefichwa katika mataifa ya ughaibuni? Ukinyonga yule mtuhumiwa, hiyo mali itarudi vipi kwa Wakenya?
Na wacha niseme, atuseme mtu akigongwa na gari anakufa. Nasema people who are given jobs like to build Ngong Road for example, those people want to save on money. So the road design does not, they save money, so wana save pesa and wajenge barabara in a cheap way. But niseme hivi, there is a process, Zubeida. We are not just going to pick someone at because media imesema they are corrupt. we are going first to kuongeza mshahara vizuri. Judges, policemen, we have to increase their salaries because they are bait corruption, because mtu ameiba pesa kidogo anawapatia. We have to give them increase their salaries. However, there is a judicial process, a fair hearing. Go process ifanywe na tukusikize. Na pia tunapeana caution. It's not like the chicken gate case in the UK. Hapa Kenya taijaisha. So pia watu wa judiciary, they will notice they have to speed up this nini. So kutakuwa na hiyo wapelekwe the process. We have to get the assets back. We have to recall the assets na pia waende wakanyongwe.
Ruth,
sijui kama wote watakubali, because if I know I'm being hanged, so why should I tell you mali iko?
There is a process. There is a judicial process.
Maybe the first two might be caught with the process ya rudisha mali alafu tunanyonga. But someone else will think, kama unataka kuninyonga, finish me, wacha wengine wakulie hiyo pesa. Okay, so I don't think I would justify that. But for us, we are saying the corrupt, we will go even for the big fish. Sisi hatuogopi, tunataka pesa irudishwe, ndio imeweza kuumiza economy ya hii country. We have, our president is planning to give a moratorium where the Kenyans who have stolen our money, wameficha development money, warudishe, wanapatiwa nafasi ya kurudisha. Hapo pale mtu anapitisha ile wakati umewekwa, so from there, the law takes its course.
In 2002 there was such. Why has it not worked? Maybe in your opinion, I'm not saying because you're not in government, yes. Ruth, but you need to show Kenyans that you understand. So, it was there in 2002. What in your opinion is what is the reason why it didn't work out? The idea that you're sharing, in your opinion?
Leadership problems, Justina. We are different leaders here.
Let's talk, because you seem to agree on the seriousness and the challenges of corruption in our country.
Yes.
Given an opportunity, Justina, in 2 minutes, given an opportunity to be the next deputy president with the government that you will form with the presidential candidate that you're supporting, what are the specific areas that you would target in terms of dealing with corruption practically? Because there's the whole question of administration of justice.
And like I said, the three arms of government they are being threatened. How? The independence rather is being threatened. When, for example, the executive says this, someone runs to court, and then the process is stopped. That is the backdrop of why we are going to suspend the constitution. But yes, administration of justice is there. But again, has it worked for us? And you know, law was made for man, not the other way around. It is upon us as Kenyans to sit and say, are you happy that 2 billion is lost every day? They say no, because it's accounting to unemployment, inflation, high cost of living. So we are going to we'll be together with the Kenyans. We are going to call for public participation. And the Kenyans, I can tell you, they are very happy about it. Because someone is feeling like, I wake up like in Meru, I wake up at 4 a.m. kuchukua hiyo mira yangu, I pack it. Someone is eating the taxes. Mtu anajifanya ndio mjanja kuliko wengine. So Kenyans are tired. Of course, that aspect is there of administration of justice. Lakini gashori, Kenyans are suffering. So sisi tutaka participate now, and many of them are supporting this. We need to instill fear in assets of the public. Heshima kwa public assets.
Bi Ruth, haswa endapo mtaingia mamlakani, mnawapea Wakenya muda gani waweze kuona matunda katika vita dhidi ya ufisadi, na wewe binafsi mchango wako utakuwa upi katika kuona hilo linatimia kama makamu wa rais?
For us, we will bring in this in phases. Kuna ile pesa iko nje, in the money that is stashed illegally abroad. For that, we can even say we have started even implementing our 100 days. The fifth, Maure Waihiga already wrote a letter to the UN and 15 other countries to start processing our money back. That means tuna uhakika by the time we are getting in, kuna wezekano pesa ikuwe imefika, and if not, tunataka kukata hii mfereji. The report that the incumbent president gave out, 2 billion. We actually think it probably could be 5 billion that we are losing a day, including today and until the 9th of August. So for us, tukiingia pale ndani, tunataka kukata hiyo mfereji ya corruption like instantly, so that we also have working capital to jumpstart the economy.
Na umetaja pale shilingi bilioni 5. Haswa kwa sababu umerejelea mara kadhaa pesa ziko nje. Yes. Ni pesa ngapi ambazo mnazizungumzia sasa hivi na mtazirejesha vipi haswa? Mmeweza kupiga hesabu mkajua ni ngapi na ziko wapi?
ni zaidi ya trilioni 10, na ndiposa nilisema pale awali, it is possible for us to clear our debt in a day. It is more than 10 trillion that is out there. This is development money, and that is why tumekasirika, tunataka kuleta hiyo pesa irudi Kenya. Tunaweza kosa kuleta na the first 100 days, lakini wa Kenya, we are committed to bring this money back. And in 2017-2018, budget ikisomwa, the Henry Rotich, he's on clip, he's on record, akisema there is money outside. Here hatuna confirmation that pesa ilirudi. It has only been accumulating over a time. Now, by the time we were getting into this candidature, it was over 10 trillion that is outside there.
Ruth, unaona kwamba mikakati ambao wako nayo kama Agano Party kweli itasaidia katika kurudisha hizo pesa, na unaamini kwamba ni trilioni 10 ambazo ziko nje?
Okay, one thing I'm happy about sababu Ruth and I agree that corruption in affect wa Kenya sana. Lakini mikakati zao are not practical. They lack the how question. How are you going to do it? Utanishurutishaje pesa yangu iko huko Swiss account to return it? How are you going to force me? Kwa hivyo the idea is good, but it's just an idea. It lacks practicality.
Moratorium. Tumesema tunapatia na moratorium. You know you have money outside there. We give you time to repent. Sisi Agano tunapatiana time to repent. You won't force kurudisha pesa. And remember, we have external and internal.
Believe kuna pesa huko nje?
Okay, I believe tumeambua Pandora box kwa media. But sisi tunasema yaliyopita si ndwele. Kama mtu tushajua huyo mtu tutampeleka through the judicial process, we are going to recover their assets. Kwa hivyo pesa ziko huko nje, after the judicial process tutarecover. But mimi niseme hivi, there are so many injustices in this country. Anglo leasing, hizo zote, you know, post-election violence, zote zimefanyika. Do we hold on to the fact that we shall never forgive? We want to punish people. I think we should take the direction of Rwanda. After everything that happened in the genocide, tukae hivi tuseme, wenye wamehangiwa na we have recovered assets, ni sawa. Mwenye amekata ahame Kenya because hatutaishi na yeye. But the fact remains, let us adapt a forgiving nature, put in firm policies on how to deal with this, and finally give the opportunity. I said people are corrupt because of a mentality called scarcity mentality. Why are they corrupt? Because in government unasikia MPs earning 1 million, huku nje there is nothing that you can be able to get in that value. So tukipeana opportunity of legalizing bangi, Kenyans will have money.
Maybe niongezee ni kusema, we are not saying we will not forgive anyone. Ukisema utarudisha pesa yetu, we have no reason, we do not have any reason ya kukupeleka ahead na kukuingiza ndani. We just want Kenyans to bring back development money. Sijui venye wao wata jumpstart economy, but that is a long term strategy for us. Pesa irudishwe ndani. Tunapokata mfereji inapoteza pesa 2 to almost 5 billion a day. Tutapata nafasi ya kuweza kutengeneza our economy without having unnecessarily borrow more money out there. Kwa sababu nikisikia venye anasema, then that means wataongeza loan ile tuko nayo sahi.
Ruth's party is fighting to pay off the loan. The loan as it is 9 trillion Kenya shillings or 70 USD. 70 billion USD. Our idea is this, Ruth. Marijuana or industrial hemp takes 4 months to grow. And I gave an example that Kenya government owns around 14 million acres. Tufanye pilot test ya Kulalu Galana. In 4 months tumekelea industrial hemp. In 4 months we are going to be able to recoup 6 billion USD. So we are in the process of paying. Hata tukisema Kulalu Galana ndio tunalipa nayo. In 3 years 6 months tutakuwa tumelipa deni hiyo 9 trillion. Lakini tuko na shamba, we have times 14, you know, 14 million. So we are going to know how we are going to appropriate this land. But niseme hivi, our idea, and I tell Kenyans, I'm here to tell you the truth, the economy is messed up. You need an honest leader who tells you it's not going to be easy. But our idea is that don't even question us at the first 100 days. That one will be lying to you, atutafanya. But in 1 year, ask me as Justina, did you achieve to get the 50,000 times 2 youth who got 2.8 million each? Because I said marijuana takes 4 to 6 months to grow.
Right.
So in 1 year tutaweza kufanya hivyo.
Ruth, let me now introduce a discussion on the cost of living.
Yes.
And I want to give you 2 minutes to tell us, in your understanding, what is the driver of this rising cost of living? And if elected president, let's say in the first 100 days, what would be the Agano proposals to reduce the cost of living?
I agree to what you're saying, and I think the 100 days for us, we will repeat that our agenda is corruption. Cost of living has been affected by corruption widely. And if we deal with corruption, I think Kenyans will smile back at us. And the first 100 days, one that was implemented yesterday, na ninajua unga haijateremka, 2 weeks ago, on our manifesto, we launched that. We will introduce the subsidy of maize. It was introduced yesterday. Now, Kenya wameambiwa to wait for 2, 3 to 4 weeks for it to be felt. Jana nimepitia kwa supermarket, bado unga ni 230. So for us, we still have to bring the subsidy for Kenyans to be able to eat, because a hungry nation is an angry nation. For us, we're also planning to implement the pay cutoff of 50%. I know you'll want to ask where the deficit is going to come in. Our repayment period for the loan is 1.3 trillion. And the financial year, the last financial year, KRA reported that the payment that was done through the payee was 461 billion. So if we cut off the payee by 50%, that is 230 billion deficit. If we come and cap the repayment period, the repayment of the 1.3 trillion, kumbuka tutakuwa na ile extra 300, ile tutakuja kusongesha pale kwa payee, so that we are able to run our activities as usual and even have a small surplus of 7 billion to run with. That being amongst them.
Do you agree with her and the proposals to reduce the cost of living?
Okay, first, I can't agree with her, definitely, but cost of living is occasioned by inflation, number one. Too few goods, but there's too much money in circulation. Number two, taxes. When manufacturers have the tax burden, they push it to the consumer, and the consumer is not having any salary increase. So that is the reason we are having this. So let me say this. We are not going to do the 100 days, that's a lie. But you ask us after 1 year when you get into office. That one, we are going to widen the tax base. Why? I said marijuana is used in 9 sectors, across 9 sectors. Example, paper. We are going to give life to pan paper. Pan paper had been given life, but again, the logging law came in, so they don't have raw materials. We'll have marijuana that will be used for that. So our idea is to drive local economies whereby a Kenyan, instead of importing something from China, like the people of Nyamakema, their stuff was burnt for lack of quality, let them organize themselves, have local industries. If it's textile, plastic, paper, printing paper by the way is very expensive. So when we have local economies, we are going to widen the tax base so that a corporate tax shouldn't be 30%. We can lower it because we have more in the tax net. Another thing is to ensure that we give conducive environment for business. As it is, businesses are not comfortable. They are saying that lack of the dollar in the country is impeding their purchasing power in the global supply chain. So when we give a conducive environment, the economies are going to be there, Kenyans are going to be employed, and then we are going to have money. Then the other youth who don't want to be employed in these industries can go into the other thing of investment that I said. We are going to empower the youth financially.
Kidogo hapo, hata kabla usonge sana, kwa sababu umesema kwamba hamtaahidi wa Kenya kwamba katika muda wa siku 100 mtafanya hivi na kadhalika. Awali ulituambia bangi inachukua muda wa miezi 4 kukua, na umetuambia kwamba hamtaahidi kwamba mtatimiza baada ya miezi ama siku 100. Kwa hivyo yule Mkenya anakutazama sasa hivi hawezi kumudu gharama ya kununua pakiti moja ya unga. Kwa hivyo unamwambia nini?
Huyo Mkenya nitamwambia that the truth is tumeteseka miaka 30. 1 year tunaweza vumilia, but we are putting in, Kenyans need an honest leader. As it is now, hii maneno ya kusarakasi na siasa is what is getting us here. We are being honest. We are saying, of course, they have put in the unga imeshukishwa bei. But sisi tukiangalia the truth, marijuana also gives flour. We can look at alternatives to the challenges. If maize flour is costly, then marijuana flour can cook ugali, can cook chapati. And then cooking oil, the seed produces cooking oil also. So we tunaangalia kama hii ni expensive, we are going to use this. So the alternatives. So mimi naambia Mkenya, hatutawadanganya. Tumedanganywa miaka nenda miaka rudi. We are telling you the truth. Question us after 1 year.
Ruth, unaona Wakenya wavumilie, watumie unga ya marijuana,
watalala njaa 365 days from the 9th. but they know the truth. But they will die. No, let's be frank. There's, of course, we do not need a list of 10 items. I would almost agree, but we do not need a list of 10 items kufurahisha wa Kenya that we can accomplish all this in 100 days. Tuweke vitu realistic, Mkenya aweza kupata chakula, yule mama anaangalia watoto peke yake aweze kupata pesa ya kulipa rent, kulipa school fees, but telling Kenyans to wait for 1 year, I think it's a long time.
The truth is,
it's such a long
leadership,
time.
Ruth. And you know, someone who's been in government, I know they're laughing at us, but the truth is, government policy is about trade-off. What is working for our country? What is working for our people? So if we come here and say, tutaangusha bei ya mahindi, farmers walitoka Ushago, they came to Nairobi. There is rural to urban migration. They are border riders because farming doesn't have money. It is about us giving the conducive environment for agriculture to thrive. Watu warudi Ushago, they grow the maize, they grow the marijuana, they do the Mira Act, and actually we are giving Kenyans an alternative. If you're a Mira farmer, continue doing, no problem. But we need Kenyans to know it's not about the government doing things. We won't lie to you, and that is why leaders or politicians lie to us. It's about telling Kenyans the truth. Here is a trade-off between a very bad situation and a worse situation.
I think maybe I think agriculture has money. Sijui kama hapo tutakubaliana, lakini agriculture has money. I will give an example. My grandmother amekuwa ametegemea majani chai. They have brought up she brought up 8 children. Lakini sai mkulima wa sai analia. So if we restore back our economy, that means hata ule mtu hajasoma ataweza kuongeza pesa kwa mfuko, na tuweze pia kukata hii importation tunaleta ya michele, na kuna project kuna schemes kama za Moya tunaweza patia wakulima nafasi to boost themselves back, na Wakenya waweze kupata chakula ya kukula. Just like even the maize, people are having maize in the granary. Kwa nini tunaleta mahindi kutoka nje? Tupatie nafasi wa Kenya wajijenge. I believe farming has money.
Yes.
Pia ule akona ng'ombe ananunuliwa maziwa 30 shillings lakini inauzwa 60. Wacha tujaribu kubalance out.
Sikusema agriculture doesn't have money.
You said
but
it.
wait, as it is, the global prices, declining global prices. Sai watu wa Kisii wanasema 1 kg of coffee or tea wananunuliwa 30 shillings farm gate prices. Sugar cane inatoka 4,112 per ton. Sai mahindi 3,000. Na sai ekelea fertilizer. So the input cost of agriculture as it is so costly that you as a farmer you're not getting money. Na niongea about maziwa hata dairy farmer. By the way, hemp produces animal feed. So our tukitengeneza animal feed which is very costly as it is, ina impede maziwa production. Kutakuwa na so much milk that Roots Party is telling Kenyans, and we are promising Kenyans, kutakuwa na maziwa ya Roots na mayai ya Roots, because animal feed will be affordable. Kenyans can take milk as they wish. So our purpose is to reduce import costs in agriculture, but agriculture has money.
No, that's when I quoted you, Justina, and I think the pricing right now of the food products is because of a leadership issue. It's nothing that the Kenyans cannot produce. Tuko na mchanga, tuko na maadili. We only need to give Kenyans ile nafasi waweze kulisha Wakenya wenzao. Just that. Let's stop saying ati mahindi it's in toxins, whereas the strategy is kuleta mahindi binafsi, unaleta hapa kwa nchi, unajitengeneza wewe mwenyewe, lakini unafinya yule mkulima ako pale Murang'a, ako pale Kisumu, hawezi pata return on investment. Kwa hivyo let us try to promote what we have locally, because this is a blessed nation.
Justina, in 60 seconds, listening to you, then it sounds like it begins and ends with marijuana farming.
That is part of our manifesto, and agriculture is the core principle in our manifesto. Let me say this: the snake farming, as it is, 3 Kenyans die out of snake bites as it is. And we have a law called Wildlife Conservation Act 2013. And this gives us the option of having this snake farming as an income generating activity. So even if you go to KWS right now, the law is there. Ours was just to amplify that voice and give options. Like I was saying, 3 people are dying every day because of snake bites. And why? The antivenom we import in this country is from South Africa and India mainly. But there are over 3,000 species of snakes in the world. So maybe the snake that will bite you didn't have that antivenom. And if it's antivenom, one vial goes for 13,500. And you need between 5 to 10 vials ndio upone hiyo kumwa na nyoka. So ideally utakuwa na 135,000 ya kupona hiyo snake bite. What is our agenda? Our agenda is to look at what we have. We have snakes around. One, we'll have the venom industry. This is where unasikianga mtu kushagua amesoma biochemistry, but you don't know where they're going to work. We are going to bring them into this pharmaceutical industry where they are getting the antivenom so that you can compete in the international market.
Right.
And then protect the 3 Kenyan lives who die because of snake bites.
Ruth, in 1 minute, story ya nyoka.
Story ya nyoka ninasema for our government Agano party we cannot deal with snakes surely. Tutafunga kwa compound ama ni kuku tutaweka surely. Ndio tupate mayai. Then again, how much do we have to wait for this venom itoshe ndio Wakenya waweze kupata medication, whereas we are going to start probably if at all they get the chance to lead from 10th, tutaanza kurea from 10th ama tuko na za kutosha Kenya. What business do we have putting in snakes here?
We have amplified what is there. There is a law, Wildlife Conservation Act 2013. Today is 2022, so it's been there for a while. And it gives this leeway for wildlife snake farming as an income generating activity. Let me tell you, our idea is making Kenya an export hub, putting money in the pockets of Kenyans. Ndio tunapata ile foreign exchange tulikuwa tunaambiwa tukiwa shule ati Kenya is earning foreign exchange from wherever. So yetu ni ya kwamba let's get other alternatives, income generating activities for Kenyans and to sustain our export manifesto.
So how much venom do we need probably?
Like I said, do the math. 1 vial goes for 13,000. You can check, you can Google. One vial goes for 13,500. If we do it locally, we are going to lower the cost. And remember, even your government, if you win, is going to incur the cost of importing antivenom. So why not have our own here so that we can lower the cost and save the lives of Kenyans as we create an industry. An industry for this venom thing. There's someone at home amesoma biochem. Me unaonanga ma pharmacists sijui nani. They only sell in chemists. There is no employment. Our target ni kuemploy everyone. Mwenye amesoma asiregret. Mwenye hajasoma kuko na hizi zingine economies anaweza invest in. So yetu ni kuweka pesa mkononi.
Na Bi Justine, ni baki kwako kabla kurudi kwake, na una muda wa dakika 2 kuweza kujibu hili. Kwa yule mtazamaji au mkulima ambaye anakutazama sasa hivi, imekuwa vigumu kwake kulima mahindi yake au kahawa yake, majani chai na kusafirisha nje. Itakuwa vipi kwake ukianza kumwambia sasa tufuge nyoka tusafirishe sumu? Kama hawezi kusafirisha mahindi, ataweza vipi kuuza katika soko la kimataifa sumu ya nyoka, fisi?
Haya, niseme hivi. Bangi, nyoka already kuna frameworks na ziliwekwa 2013, tutafuata hizo. But bangi, ile challenge mkulima sasa yako nayo, tukaangalia kama ni farmer, kuna watu wanaitwa KTDA au Coffee Board au wote. They come here, they take your produce, they go sell it and then come back to pay you. Many times wanakuja wanakuambia you even you owe us. Unaona? And that is why farmers wanakasirika, wanasema hii ni ya nini? Our idea of marijuana, because this is fresh, snakes is in the law. Idea of marijuana is we are going to cut down this brokers, these KTDAs atuataki. Hii tunasema buyer representative anakuja kwa gate yako. If you've sold 50 kgs, we are going to ensure ananunua according to the price, market price. You're given your money cash as opposed to venye KTDA inapatianga farmers annually. This farmer needs to educate their children, anataka kusustain maisha yake. That is why farming is no longer lucrative. So we are going to cut off the brokers au watu wote wako katikati na buyer representative. Kama ananunua, anakuja kwa farm gate, anachukua produce, anapatia cash. Unajipanga na pesa yako.
Na hao nyoka wataiko wapi? Ni kwamba mtajenga vibanda. Unajua sasa hivi ukienda kule mashambani, kila mtu ana mahali ambapo anaweka kondoo, ng'ombe. Kwa hivyo sasa utajenga pia panyoka, fisi na vitu vingine.
Na hiyo agenda yetu inaleta msisimuko. But I'm happy because Kenyans are opening up their mindset. Maneno ya nyoka. There is the Wildlife Conservation Act 2013 that stipulates the process and the procedures and the systems. KWS itakuja kwako. You give you show interest, yeah? Expression of interest. Before they give you a license, wanakuja kwako na wana inspect. So hiyo sitaongelea sana because already the law was passed by parliament. But this is the idea. Unaenda express interest, unaambiwa before upewe license, they have to inspect your premises. Can you afford? So we are going to use KWS, and Kenya is not devoid of experts. Wako watatusaidia on how best we can cash in on this. Na nimesema it is being done because we import venom from South Africa and India. They are doing it. Why not us?
Ruth, utafuga nyoka?
I think for Agano Party, our governance, we leave the snakes to the zoo. Tunakuja kuziona, tunaziangalia, tunasoma. That's good for us.
Pesa nayo.
Justina,
Yes.
I'm looking at this from a practical point of view.
Yes.
If you want to introduce, let's say, tea farming or maize farming, you give farmers seeds, fertilizer, and everything else. So what will you give to somebody who wants to engage in snake rearing?
What will we give?
Yeah.
Like I said, Gashori, the law was passed in 2013. KWS, we are not doing it at Justine or Professor Wajakoya. No, there are regulations in place. Hao ndio wataenda na KWS will advise them as it is mali watatoa hiyo nyoka because there's already a research process in place wako hapa Ngong Road ni a government, it's government owned, na support KWS in this process. So what we are saying, hatutapeana nyoka. Justina Wambui or Wajakoya won't go and give snakes. No, we will work with the experts, and Kenya haikosi our experts. We'll work with KWS, but the fact is we have amplified the voice that this is an alternative income generating activity.
Una la kuongeza kabla tu?
Naona KWS wako na kazi mingi ahead of their government. Ya fisi na ya nyoka. For us, we are safe again. We leave them in the zoo.
They were expecting, the law is there, the Wildlife Conservation Act 2013.
Those were just my remarks.
Yeah.
Naam, tuingie katika mada yetu ya mwisho katika mjadala huu wa leo ambayo inahusu kinyang'anyiro hiki ambapo kipo, namna siasa zinavyoendeshwa. Kwa mtazamo wako Bi Ruth, katika muda wa dakika 2, unapoangalia jinsi kampeni zinavyoendeshwa, jinsi uongozi unavyoendeshwa humo nchini Kenya, kama mgeni katika ulingo wa siasa na katika masuala hayo yote, ni kipi ambacho unaona kinastahili kubadilishwa katika namna tunavyojiendesha?
I would say that I have been a leader. One, I will not call myself a new politician in this field. I have been a leader from the time I was a young girl. And I almost actually got into the Nairobi gubernatorial in January 2021, a governor with David Mwaure. Lakini Kenyans and Nairobians know what happened. Hiyo maneno ilisimamishwa. So what I would bring in different is to ensure that we get rid of this PR. Tumedanganya wa Kenya for too long. People have been asking hauna experience, but if the cost of experience is what has happened over the years, I'd rather come in as the new option. Mtu le amebadilika, mtu ako trustworthy, mtu ako na nafasi ya kubadilisha maisha ya Wakenya, kushughulikia wanawake, kupa wanawake sauti, even the youth. Wanarika pale nje wametengeneza jobless corners. But tunasema tunahitaji experience. No, I refuse what the stereotypes are talking about. Ninasema sisi tunakuja kuleta mabadiliko. Amkeni wa Kenya. Tunakuja kuleta mabadiliko na uongozi mpya katika hii nchi.
Ni baadhi ya mabadiliko kama yapi ambao unapendekeza Ruth? Kwa sababu unasema kuleta mabadiliko. Mabadiliko yapi? What should change?
Corruption. Francis, corruption is big on us. You know, we cannot be able to change agriculture without curbing corruption. We cannot deal with sports. Look at what happened to Ferdinand. The corruption imefanya hii maneno ifanyike. He's a champion. He's going to represent a country. Lakini kuna wale wanatangulia kabla yeye. The person who is supposed to be bringing glory back to us is the person who is last. Is given last priority. Kwa hivyo haya mabadiliko sisi ndiposa tunaegemea upande wa corruption because it is a cancer in this country and we need to get rid of it.
Let me give you some 60 more seconds. Haya mabadiliko unayozungumza, how will it affect health? How will it affect the young people who have no jobs? How will it affect infrastructure development na mambo kama hayo?
Tukipambana na corruption, tutakuwa na operational capital. Remember, we'll be able to create jobs for the youth. Kuna wale wamefanya degree, 2,000 of them probably after every year wana graduate. Hawana makazi. Wakienda kutafuta kazi, they're being asked for 3 years experience. It is not bought over a shelf. tunataka kupatia the graduates nafasi waweze tunapatia graduates nafasi kuweza kuingia kwa makazi with a minimal experience with a minimal experience, which means tunaweka mikakati ya kuweza kuwapatia nafasi kuingia immediately after graduation. There's a graduation program. Na watu kama wa informal sector tunamsha the industries that have been dead. During COVID, we got to learn that we can make masks we can make locally masks. Kwa nini bado basi tunazileta? To employ wanarika walipo hapa ndani waweze kutengeneza mask. You can imagine we're even importing toothpicks. Situpatie wanarika in the informal sector nafasi waweze kujijenga pia.
Justina, what should change about our way and mode of doing politics?
Let me say this about health. Ukiangalia as it is, if you have for example, you're told to come for an MRI, to get an MRI scan or dialysis, ukiwa Turukana, you have to come to Nairobi for NHIF to give you authorization for that. Assuming you're very, very sick, so you have to come with someone. You travel from Turkana to Nairobi. Up until 2018, it was working. I don't know why it stopped. You come here to Nairobi, maybe upate watu ni wengi kwa NHIF office, so uende bado ulale, there's cost of even kuspend in Nairobi, and then you go back. What I'm thinking, the change we need in Roots Party, what we are pushing as Roots Party. Number one, NHIF zote in all localities and branches, can they authorize this thing? So that kama ni dialysis, kama ni MRI, we were told that machines were bought. Why should they come to Nairobi all the way from Turkana or Mandera for authorization in Nairobi? So that is the change we want. Number two, doctors are professionals. They should also have their own health service commission. They have been fighting for this. So as Roots Party, we are going to push for that. Wacha wajipange kama Judicial Service Commission, because health is very, very paramount in this country. Another thing which borders on devolution. Our idea as Roots Party is that we've seen that 15% is not possible because national government is not able to give county governments, and county governments are crying. When we say we are going to suspend the constitution, that comes into chapter 11 of devolution. What we want is for the counties, they are already organized in caucuses. Wajipange, they get their own revenue, wagawane according to their regions. They are only going to give national government ya Roots 10%. Iyo, a doctor wa county atalipwa, suppliers who've been auctioned because they have not been paid watalipwa. Unaona, and service delivery ya county will be manageable. So that is the change we are pushing as Roots Party.
Na Bi Ruth, katika kauli yako ya kumaliza una muda wa dakika 2, ni kipi ambacho mtakifanya tofauti na utawala ambao upo sasa katika kauli yako ya kufunga?
Wakenya tunaleta transparency. Wakenya tunaleta uongozi mpya. Tunakuwa, we are the new broom. We are the people who are coming to clean up the corruption. We are people who are coming to stabilize the economy. We are concerned about our youth. We are concerned about the women plight, just as like the disabled, the people with disability. So give us the chance to take care of you. You are our bosses. It's paramount to know that you are our bosses. You are not the subject. So give us the vote and we shall bring in the change that we have been talking about.
Kauli yako ya kufunga, Bi Justina.
And I called for mindset change when tulikuwa tunaanza hii debate. Kenyans, let us respect the media owners. They have organized this debate. And the purpose of this debate is to give you an opportunity to ask your leaders questions. And here we are. So don't see it like it's something that you time wasting, ama mulisha amua. No. If you need a different Kenya, a transformed Kenya, this is the opportunity. Let me say this as Roots Party. We might come off as jokers, as not serious people, but one thing we are doing is to push your mind and to ask yourself, by the way, my tribe doesn't help me, but the challenges I'm facing as an individual is what I want my government to help me with. So we are coming in with fresh ideas. We are coming in with the idea that Kenya can do better. Kenya is beautiful. We have athletes who we are always trending that they're doing well. We have musicians who are doing well. But when it comes to leadership, why do we have low self-esteem? Why do we choose people? Why are we scared to go a different direction? So my call to Kenyans is that Roots is different. We are giving you a solution. We are explaining to you where we are going to get the money to run government projects. And we are ready to serve you. So be different. Don't feel like anyone owns you. Don't feel like you're doing someone a favor. And for the 44 million undecided, I hope I've convinced you. And the ones who are decided, I hope I've converted you to vote for Roots Party, because this is the government and the party for the future.
Thank you very much.
Asanteni sana. Mnaweza kupokezana mkono. Thank you. Na wanaposema wahenga, kilicho na mwanzo lazima kiwe na mwisho. Hii sasa ndio tamati ya mjadala wetu kati ya wagombea wenza wa kiti cha urais.
Indeed, our appreciation to candidates Justine Wambui and Ruth Mucheru, and to you, the audience here and out there watching on television here in Kenya and around the world. Thank you all. I'm Francis Gashuri of Citizen TV and Inoro TV.
Mijungu in just a bit, and Michelle Ngele was standing by for that